Yes, and guys, how are we all? I hope everybody is well. So today we are doing a ranking every Premier League club season. We've got obviously 5 categories here: insane season, above average, average, below average, and refund the fans. We are using tiermaker.com, which is what we'll use for pretty much all of our tiers, I think, in future. It's quite nice, simple. So we're going to get straight into it. We've got the Premier League table up on the phone, just to refresh. And the first club we get is Bournemouth. Now, Bournemouth, I think average season for them would have been, truthfully, anywhere above 20th. Everyone predicted them rock bottom of the league. So I do think anywhere above 20th would have been average, but they managed to finish 15th, which is a very, very solid finish, you know. They finished on, 39 points, which is decent. You know, you can't say anything about that. So for that reason, I'm putting them in above average. Now, please bear in mind as well, we have to be very harsh on these. Otherwise, there's a lot of clubs that could be insane. Bournemouth being one of them. The next club we have is Arsenal. Again, another one where it's going to be controversial because they have had an insane season. They have been unreal. You know, they finished, at the end of the day, they finished 5 points behind Man City, finished on 89 points. And they fielded out a weakened team for the last 3 games of the season or what. So it is harsh. But they got themselves knocked out of all those cups, and when they were asked, they were all saying, all their fans, that, oh, it's because of we can focus on the league, now we can do that. So I think to not get any silverware, you know, not win anything, and then come second in the league to, fair enough, to one of the best sides we'll ever see in England. I'm going to put them in above average. I think they let themselves down at the final hurdle of the season. Now Villa, my club, my team, when Unai Emery come in 13 games in, we were, a point 2 above the relegation zone, in big trouble. Probably worse than what Southampton were. We come in, secured 7th, which is Conference League. Again, probably not insane, going off the fact that, you know, 13 games into the season we were in a relegation scrap, but I'm going to go above average for that. I do think we overachieved, but I do think we shouldn't have been where we were 13 games in either, and football season doesn't start 25 games in. For that reason, if we're going from 13 games inwards, we've had the best season out of them all, in my opinion. But yeah. Next up, we have Brentford, who come 9th in the league. There's going to be a lot of above averages, isn't there, if I keep being harsh. But I do think, again, it's above average for them. I think a couple people could have said, you know, they could go down, they could struggle, you know, because they've not been up for long enough. But top 10, not quite insane. But yeah, top 10 I think is fair. Brighton, we are going to be getting our first insane season from Brighton, who played some of the most beautiful football we've seen this year. You know, managed to secure Europe early as well. Made themselves so difficult to beat this year. They were unbelievable, in my opinion. Yeah, they were on a different level for me, in my opinion. Just had a notification. Bournemouth have sacked Gary O'Neill. Weird. Okay. And now we move on to Chelsea, who have been horrendous this season. For a side that should be playing Champions League football, with the money they've spent, finished 12th in the league. You know, they were, 10 points above the relegation zone this year. For me, it's a refund the fans. It is. It's a refund the fans. I think, you know, if you're asking me, I don't know, none of those teams really. I think it's a refund the fans. You finish bottom half of the league, 10 points above relegation zone. The football they were playing weren't quality either. Horrific. All round. Refund the fans. No one needs to be said. Crystal Palace. Again, nobody expects them to be top 10. They sacked Vieira near the end of the season and then started playing real nice football, scoring goals. You know, they finished mid-table 11th. I'm going to give them an average. For me, I think that's fair. I don't think I need to speak on the next two clubs. We'll just do them both now. Refund the fans. Everton, another poor season. 2 points above relegation zone. Not good enough at all. The fans that you guys have, you know, you're getting a new stadium built. There's something wrong with that club, and you know, something needs to give there because there's serious issues. And essentially, if they do it for the next couple of years, balance and dance above that relegation zone, I think they'll be down very soon. Couple of years, maybe. Maybe Sean Dyche might have been a man for him, though, to sort them out. And Southampton finishing rock bottom in the league. In the relegation zone by 11 points behind Everton, who I've just put in refund the fans. I don't think I need to speak on them. They had 6 wins and 7 draws this season. They conceded 73 goals, scored 36. That is embarrassing on all fronts for me. I think that's bottom of the league. And they've got a lot of good players as well, so they might struggle to come up if they lose them. So the next club I'm going to go for is Fulham, who above average again for me. Don't know what to say on Fulham really, you know. I think Mitrovic getting his suspension so close to the end of the season. Can't remember how long it was. I want to say 8 games, but I'm not quite sure. I can't remember. But I do think I think they were poor. Not poor, sorry, what? I think they were very good this season. They made themselves tough to beat. Paulinho was a revelation at the start of the season for them. That is why they go above average. It's not quite insane, but it's definitely not average. They would have been one team I'd have potentially had down. Next, another one, refund the fans. On these two, actually. You know, Leeds, 8 goals conceded. Worst defensive team in the league this year. Scored 48 there. Won 7 games, drew 10. It's just not good enough, is it? You know, they finished 19th in the league. And it's shocking, really, from a team that, to be fair, looked like they built up a half-decent squad at the start of the season. Tyler Adams, Brennan Johnson. That Rodrigo was playing well. Yeah, just not enough for me. Bamford as well dropped off this year. Yeah, they're not the team for me. I think if you're conceding 70 plus goals, really. Wow, to be honest with you, if you're conceding over 50 goals a season, I think you had a poor defensive season. It's almost 2 goals a game. And when you're a team that, you know, are conceding 78 goals, and you're only scoring 48, that's 30 games where you're conceding 2 or more goals, like a goal more. Like, it's not good enough. On to Liverpool. I mean, it's got to be below average, innit? A team that have gone from being second, you know, challenging City. I think below average is a fair score. They did manage to pull it together in the last 10 games of the season. Fair enough to them, fair play. But yeah, I think to finish 5th, 28 games of the season. Like I said about Villa, the season doesn't start 13 games in, it starts from game 1. And Liverpool weren't at it for 28 games, Villa weren't at it for 13. Arsenal were only at it for, 28, 30 games. You know, so for me, Liverpool are below average. Not good enough. Average for me would have actually been second and nothing. So, you know, they've set high standards for themselves. Now, Man City goes straight into insane season. What a year they've had. They've done the triple. They scored 94 goals and only conceded 33, which is joint best defensive record with Newcastle. Won the Champions League, first time ever. Congratulations to them. Oh my god, you know, I don't know where do I go with it. Like, they're just a joke, aren't they? They're so good. They're unstoppable. They actually are unstoppable. Nobody will stop them. For years to come, they're going to be the best team in the league, and it's scary because we're going about Farmers League and we can't beat them. But yeah, Man City going insane. Man United above average. You know, got Champions League football. Ten Hag, good first year under his belt. Casemiro played well, had a good year. You know, they finished 9 points behind Arsenal, 4 points above Newcastle, 8 points above Liverpool. You know, they secured it with a couple games left than United did. They've had a good year. They've been tough to beat, especially at home. They've had a good year. Rashford's goals, I think, helped them out massively though. I think they need to score more. You know, they conceded 43, but they scored 58. That needs to be a bit better, I think, maybe, for them. But other than that, they've had a very above average season. And our last insane season, for me, goes to Newcastle. Again, joint best defensive record with City. You know, they got Champions League football for the first time in a very, very long time. They've been unbelievable all season long. They've turned their home ground into a fortress almost. Extremely tough team to beat, hard working, their fans are unreal. Yeah, congratulations to them, they deserve Champions League football. They did go through stages where they dropped off, and I will be honest, I do think they need to buy players for depth. I don't think it's going to be all rosy for them. But yeah, they've had an unbelievable season, and they'll just be laughing it up at the moment with what they're doing. And then we go on to Forest, who I would again say average. They stayed up. They finished 16th. They were the team I wanted to stay up out of the newly promoted lot. So I'm happy. They got a lot of deadwood though to get rid of after signing a lot of the deadwood in the summer just gone. But they've also got a lot of strengthening to do. Brennan Johnson's being linked with like Villa and all these other teams. But I think they want a big fee for him. So if they could bring in a big fee for him, they've released already, I think it was 6 to 8 players a couple of weeks ago, which is what they needed to do. But they need to get rid of a lot more than just that. You know, they've got Kalis Naris, who's an unreal goalkeeper. They did put it together after January, but they've got a lot of deadwood that needs going. And then we move on to Tottenham, who, I'm just going to say it, below average. Finished 8th in the league behind Villa and Brighton. They finished a point behind Villa. They did score 70 goals though, but they conceded 63, which is, honestly, when you look at the top 10, it's an embarrassing stat, really. You know, to concede 63 goals is horrific. You know, that's only, looking at this, the bottom 3 have conceded more. Forest conceded more. Bournemouth. So that's 5. Only 5 teams actually conceded more than Tottenham, which is a terrible stat. And I fear for them should they lose Harry Kane. You know, where are those goals going to come from? Because that's, I think he scored, 28 goals this season? You take away his 28 goals there from that 70, and you've only scored, 42 goals? Could be in trouble next year if they lose him. Aside, West Ham managed to win the Conference League, which is what puts them into average, in my opinion. They've had a good, really, really good, solid couple of years. They got to the final, or was it the semi-final the year before? And then they went on to win it this year. Really well done to them. I'm happy for them. Absolutely delighted. Their big question is how much can they scam clubs out of paying for Declan Rice? Obviously, we saw, 80 mil turned down from Arsenal. They do want 100, but he's only got a year left, so a team's going to want to pay that. I don't know. But yeah, so they're going average for winning the Conference League. I think that's fair. Not a great season. Conceded 55, scored 42 though. Need to score more, really. So yeah, that puts them into average for me. And then Wolves, another average season for them. I think I do think they're in trouble. You know, they lack goals. They've not got the funds at the minute. And as a Villa fan, I don't feel sorry for them, truthfully. But I can admit that I see a good team, and I see one for the last few years. They have been unbelievable. Hard to beat. A lot of good players. Ruben Neves, for example, who I think is going to be going. You know, they've got a lot of good players there that just aren't clicking at the minute. I don't know what it is, but they're lacking goals. 31 goals scored. It's not even a goal a game, which is horrendous. That actually makes them the lowest scoring team in the league as well. Which is poor, you know. They finished 7 points above the relegation zone. They conceded 58. So their defensive record, I think, is what sort of helped them, really. You know, they won 11 games, drew 8. It's not good enough. They've got to score more. But for me, that is my categorising them thoughts on this season's Premier League and where I would rank these sides. Guys, if there's anything you would disagree with or would change, please let me know. Please subscribe and turn notifications on. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours by the end of the year. If we do so, I'm doing a £100 Amazon gift card giveaway. So be sure to subscribe, notifications on, and I will see you all again soon.